if you have your Photoshop open and you can just pay attention on the screen right now. So the first one we talk about is uh, the the new document interface that we said is important on your size. So for Photoshop 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, you you will see this type of workspace, the type of new document interface, because is the updated version of it. So when you see this new document workspace, it gave you a preset of custom sizes, or let's say functional sizes that are acceptable worldwide, right? So if you come for photo, there are preset or default sizes. We'll just say default sizes for photo worldwide. So they got landscape 3 by 2, 6 by 4, 5 by 7, the quick 7 card photo like 5 by 7, this is it. And then 10 by 18. If you see some photo frame, some photo frame that you can see around, you see the type of inches size on in a photo frame glass, the glass photo frame. You see the type of size on it. You tell you the size of picture that can fit in a particular frame. They having default sizes too. So just in case that you want to A4 design, A4 flyer design, and you don't know the size of A4, you can do print and you find A4 size. When you click the size, you press create, then you can use the page that will come there is in A4. So any design you do on a particular A4 page, it will fit on any A4 sheet when you print it out. It will fit nicely on any A4 sheet when you print it out. So the same thing for A6, A5, A3. So you'll be confronted as a designer. You'll be confronted with a lot of designs, a lot of different work from different people, and especially for printing people, you will be required to use most of these sizes. If you when you're doing sublimation print, you know say like A4 sheet is supposed to use, right? So you don't know the size of A4, you can just click this when you press create, right? And then they got other one for add illustration, web, mobile, film and video. All these are default sizes. So maybe if you're doing film and you want to create thumbnail for that particular video you're doing, these are default sizes you can use for the video. This is it, but we will be using our own custom um, size for today's practical. Where you see preset detail up here is where you put your file name. So your file name or your document name, right? So maybe you can save it as first design. You save it as first design, and what the size for your first design. You will be using inches for this class, because the unit of measurement that I understand much better by Celsius, centimeter, millimeter, point, Pascal, right? So it's the unit of measurement you understand is the unit of measurement that you are going to be using, right? So for this class, we will be using inches, and then what's my width? The width of your page should be 4, and then your height should be 5. And your resolution, as you said, for media discipline, the resolution we'll be using is 300, right? When it comes to the media discipline for internet and web, right? Not web, but internet, social media posting. So it's 300. The color mode is RGB because we'll be posting it too, and the background color we want it to be white. You'll be having this workspace, right? Okay, so we are going to explain the tools bar, how to use each of these tools in Photoshop. And I want you to pay very keen attention to this because we will not be coming back to it. And I want you also study the various tools. After this, after we introduce the toolbar to everyone, I'll give a project that you'll be familiar on how to use the toolbar. Alright, so the first tool is the move tool. The move tool is used for movement, arrangement, and alignment. All of Photoshop, nothing can move the thing. No other tool can move the thing from one position to another except the move tool, right? The move tool is used for alignment, arrangement, and movement. You when you when you select the move tool on your option bar, everybody should know the option bar. The option bar is the next bar below the menu bar. So this is your option bar. You select your option bar. When you select the move tool on the option bar, select the auto select and then let it be on layer. And then you see another area there for show transform control. You select it on the option bar. For you, it will not display that day. It will display on the same line here. You select show transform layer. So here's what a show transform layer does. Without it, you will not see the border around particular layer until you having to transform it. Then you see it. But when you select show transform layer, it helps you with border around your layer so that you can be able to click and drag it, or you can be able to resize it on it quickly. And also you can use the move tool by pressing shift for straight line adjustment. So you press shift and then you click and drag to move in a particular straight line. And then so if you press shift and then you drag, whether you dragging it down, it will go straight down, or you dragging it up, it will go straight up. And then it will not come on the left, even though you're dragging it on the left, but it will not come on the left, it will not come on the right. But when you press shift and then you click and drag, you carry the first direction you carry, it will go in that direction straight without going from one point to another. But if you don't press shift, you can freely move it anywhere you want. You can freely move it anywhere. So it's just a quick hack for you to understand. What the move tool for? The move tool can help you size and resize, right? It make adjustment, right? It make adjustment on sizing and resizing your work. So this is the function of the move tool. The rectangular marquee tool is used for selection. There are almost three different tools you can use for selection. The rectangular marquee tool is used for selecting things in a rectangular shape. If we select this, and maybe we can do a duplicate of it. We can do a duplicate of it. You see? So the selection here is in a rectangular shape. Let's say we make it small by using the move tool. We make it small and duplicate, make it two times duplicate. And then the rectangular marquee tool can also be used for so how you draw the rectangle around the selected tools, and then click the layer on the left, come to the move tool, use the alignment on the option bar to move a particular layer you selected. Here, this layer right here is what moving right now. While you can do center, up, down, up, left, center, left, right. Is in a rectangular uh, frame that you draw, you doing the arrangement, and then you can also adjust this. But this is something you understand later. So the thing you should know is that the rectangular marquee tool is used for selecting things in a rectangular shape. Selecting things in a rectangular shape. If you want to select this, which of course we can use the rectangular marquee tool on, but if you be using the rectangular marquee tool for just theory, then that means we will have to do something like this for selecting. So that's the rectangular, and the same thing go to, so on the toolbar where you see this small drop down arrow, the small arrow on each tool, it means there are other tools embedded, there are other type of tool embedded on the first one you see, right? If you see drop down arrow on everything here, almost all the tools having drop down arrow. It's because Photoshop cannot display all the tools on a particular site having extra tools embedded in it. So for the rectangular marquee tool, if you right click on it you'll see elliptical marquee tool, single row marquee tool, and single column marquee tool. So the elliptical marquee tool is just using circle for selection. So if you're selecting things in or circular stuff in a circular shape, you can just use the elliptical marquee tool. So Photoshop, they don't say cycle, right? They say eclipse or elliptical. Then the single row, probably you want only select a single line on your page. You use the single row. The next tool is the lasso tool. The lasso tool is a freehand or selection tool. So the lasso tool allows you to do selection around your object with the movement of your mouse. With the movement of your mouse freehand. But first, why is it that we should do all this selection? What we can do, what we sh when we do the selection, why is it important? So you're doing the selection to remove uh, the background on your particular layer. So you have to select the object first before you can remove the background. So let's see an example with this lasso tool. The lasso tool, we use the lasso tool, we go around the shape, go around everything. It's just a freehand tool that you can use. So we use the lasso tool, and the next thing we can do now is the select and marks. So on the option bar, we talk about it, select and marks. On the option bar, you see here, they got this. This is for add selection. This is for new selection, and this is for subtract selection. Be working. This is for intercept with selection, or you'll be working with this and this. For new selection, it says that the selected object you have there, you don't want it, you want to reselect it. That's why it's called new selection. So we already have this object selected, and if we want do it, you just click. You got to select the new selection, or primarily your Photoshop will be on new selection. Every time you do selection, you can add or subtract because it's on new selection. So if you click another place, that old selection will move from there. That's another option for the marquee tool. And then the next one is the add selection. The add selection allows you add selection to the current selection you have done. So let's say we want to add the area there. You see, it get added, and then let's say we want to add this area there. Let's say we want to cover up the area. You see, it get added. And then the next one is the subtract selection. So the subtract selection give you a minus of the selection. So you remove all the added areas. If you do your selection outside the box, you can use the minus selection to now fix things you got properly. So the manual selection, remove your added selection, and then add selection, add to your current selection. So you should understand this concept because you'll be using it for almost every part in your selection process. So we have our hamburger selected. It's not perfect, but it's selected. And then the next option is the select in marks. So as I said, the reason of us doing the selection is to remove the background on a particular object or layer in Photoshop. If you already have your page selected, you select the select the mask option. You will see this place appear in this property area. The transparency, the first thing is the transparency. Let's talk about the view mode. Your view, it should always be on. The view mode should just remain like that. Don't do anything with it. So it should, your transparency will be to 0. You should increase it. So the transparency set your weight, the view of unselected areas, right? So we only have the hamburger selected, and then the transparency say all the areas that are not selected in the selection you did, how transparent you want it. You set your transparency to maybe 100. If you set it to 100, the rest of it will disappear. If you set it to 60, it will be light in the background. So your transparency reach 100, and then your feather say your edges of your selected area, how smooth you want it. So the feather help you blotting the edges of your selection, and the same thing goes with the smooth too. And then the contrast, sometimes you if you now want set feather, you can use your contrast. So the contrast is the opposite of the feather. It makes your edges very sharp enough, very sharp. So depending on the project, you just what is advisable you use the feather so that your edges is broad enough to be able to fit nicely on your next background you'll be using. In the next area, the shape edge should be at 0% always. The next area is the decontaminate colors. So the decontaminate colors is important, especially when you do uh, some selection that you are not really satisfied with. So as you see, it's not area like it will remove all the entire layer. Like you see this area here, if you decontaminate the color to output the area, you see at the edge of the page it helps you remove let's just say unwanted colors, yeah, because they were not really wanted there. So you some images you do your selection perfectly, but you see small flashlight of the background color. So the decontaminated color help you remove that small spot or small flashlight of the background color. Okay, I will drop the speed a little bit, but I think I'm very slow. But anyway, I'll drop the speed. And everybody, I just want you pay attention to your screen. Forget about what you doing right now. Don't nobody asks you to design anything. As far as I'm concerned, everybody, even including myself, is very new to Photoshop, and we're learning how to do what we can. If you know, if you think you already know it, you can just close your computer for now, or maybe resume next class time, right? But if you not know it, just pay attention like you not know anything. Just look at your screen, and then afterwards I'll give you time for question and practice. Okay? So as I said, for this the lasso tool, you use this lasso tool for selected area as so you just do your selection, and then on the option bar you will see select and mask. The select and mask menu help you remove your background once your selection is done. So once you click select and mask on your option bar, you'll be this menu open, and then you should set your transparency to 100, and then set your feather depending you as a designer now, depending on how broad you want your edges to be, you set it, but most often is between 1 1 to 3, 1 to 3. So depending on how broad you want your edges, you can just set it, or you should know what exactly you're doing. So if you increase the feather size, it will be looking something like this. But this is actually bad though, so you should do your selection nicely so you can just increase the feather a little bit, and then you should decontaminate the background color. It's just something to help you brighten up your work. So once you done and then you press OK, you see that the background on this particular layer is now removed. But we'll do a better one of it, and then we will explain how best you can do it. So that's for the lasso tool. And then the next tool on the lasso menu is the polygonal lasso tool. The polygonal lasso tool it works like the lasso tool, but it's the opposite of the lasso tool. As the lasso tool, you can just do freehand drawing, but for the polygonal lasso tool, you are doing clicking. So you click one at a time on the area you want to get selected. So see your page here. Let's see what the lasso tool can do for the lasso tool, and then this is this is this is just click and dragging, and then the polygonal lasso tool. The polygonal lasso tool is clicking one at a time. So when you click, you move the mouse to another point. You click, move it here. You click, you move it here. You click, you move it here. You click, you move it here. You click, 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 click. So this can take a lot of time, but it can do very professional work if you just take your time to click on the edge of your objects you want to use. So it can take a lot of time because you have to be clicking one at a time. But there are other shortcuts. There are other shortcuts that you can use. And when you click as I said, the polygonal lasso tool, you got the same new selection, add selection, minor selection. So probably you are doing the work and you're clicking at it, and then your selection not finished, you can just use the add selection to continue from where you stop. So you can just use this side, use this side. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's just make it quick. Alright. So we just make it so we added this selection, and then you see it selected this. So with this now, you can kind of select the mask and then perform the same stuff. You increase the transparency, increase the feather a little bit, and you can decontaminate the color, and you press OK. And then now you have removed the background of your burger. So now we got MTN burger or just burger in your background or your particular workspace. So you get your burger on your particular workspace. So that's how the polygonal lasso tool works. And then the next selection tool we come to talk about is the magnetic lasso tool. The magnetic lasso tool is another type of lasso tool that works uh, in a different way too. The magnetic lasso tool works with movement. It doesn't require you clicking, it just requires you moving your mouse to where you want to be selected at the edge or border of where you want to be selected. So as you see here, I'm not clicking anything. I just carry my mouse, just carry my mouse, just carry my mouse. So it give you option, Photoshop give you option for many tools that you can use. For many tools that you can use to make your work easier or which one best fit you. So as you see, the magnetic lasso tool, it doesn't, sometimes it will not allow you to it can probably it can select where exactly you want to go. You can select where exactly you want to go. So you can also use it when you point somewhere, you can click there, and then it will continue being magnetic, going at the edge, and you can also use it when if you want to go somewhere and not go there, you can click, and then probably if you're having to go outside the box, you can just use your delete or your backspace key to come back on to where you stop. So you'll be maybe because if you're using it, you can't carry your pointer up. Anywhere you carry the pointer, that way it will go. So you just have to bring your pointer back to where you stop, and then you press the delete key. It will be coming back till you come back to where you stop, and you continue moving the mouse at the border at the border of the page. We sometimes you click, sometimes you can't click. So as I said, anywhere you get the mouse, I play will go. So yeah, you just come back and then you press the delete key, so you come back to where you want it to be. So you just continue doing your selection. You just continue doing your selection. You just have to control your hands. You gotta be good at controlling your hands so that you can do your perfect selection. So once you carry around all your selected area, then you can come to your scene layer and mask. Perform the same step, increase your fill a little bit, transparency to 0, decontaminate the color, and you have your buffer set and ready. So that's how the magnetic lasso tools work. And then the next tool we'll be using is the object selection tool. What the object selection tool does. The object selection tool is Photoshop inbuilt AR selection tool. So you use it by clicking. This is the object selection tool. You use it by clicking and dragging over the object and allow Photoshop do the selection for you. So you click and drag over the object, and then you allow Photoshop do the selection. Sometimes it's exact, sometimes it's not exact, but with that preset given, you can be able to add and minus the selection. So Photoshop have already selected the burger. What I can do now is to come to select and max, and then I can remove the background easily. So you see, this is very simple to use the object selection. And then that's for the object selection. And then the object selection also have another one embedded. So the next one is the quick selection tool. The quick selection tool has its own menu bar, the option bar up here. This is new selection, add selection, minus selection, and then the brush size. So the quick selection tool is just using your brush size, or your brush tool for to select. So you select the add selection, and then you click and drag over, or you can click one time to create your selection. You click one time and then you can increase it. You see this is the brush size, right? You can decrease it by pressing bracket bracket your curly braces on your keyboard, plus open and close on your keyboard to increase and decrease the size. So your curly braces help you with the size of your brush tool to increase and decrease the size. So this is what the quick selection tool does. So you can minus the selection. Maybe you can do it from here, and then here you can add this selection. You can add this selection. So once you have it selected, you can now remove, come to layer mask, select the mask, and then increase the feather to contaminate the color and remove the background. So that's for the quick selection tool. The next selection tool is the magic wand selection tool. The magic wand selection tool is a type of tool that helps uh, in quick selecting, but a own type of selection works with color, right? So as we have background, the red background, the magic wand will select all the type of red, excluding the deeper red. As you see in this shallow, it will not select it, but it will help you select all the other red. Then let's take for example where we come to add selection, and then we just click. All you need to do is just click. You see there? So it select all the other space here, and then it leave the deeper red. Why? Because it select colors. It do a selection based on colors. So as you see, it select all the red without the interfering of different color. So anywhere any other color interfere, it stop right there. Anywhere another color interfere, it stop right there. It's just like you telling the magic wand to select red. So once you tell it to select red or select this particular color, so anywhere in a space that you will see this particular color, it will do the selection. Let's uh let's take for example, we say we want the magic wand to select this shallow, right? So you click the shallow, you see it. So anywhere you see this this shallow tip, not the dark one, this shallow tip is select it. Even the same shallow tip on the bread, so it's selected. So without the interference of another color, the magic wand to do the selection. So you can do this, and then once you want to add selection, you can add another selection, and you can add selection around. Then for here you can minus, sorry, you can just add a selection, and then once you have it like this, you have already selected all the colors around the bubble. So now for you, because if you select the colors around the bubble, maybe you will sometimes be confronted with something like this. You have this image on white background. The magic wand to help you with the type of selection very fast. Just let the magic wand to come to add selection, and then you click on the white, and as you see, it select all the white around a particular leaf, and you can come to select on your menu bar, you select inverse, and it will select only the leaf, and you come to this place where you see, so you can now increase your feather a little bit. This is how the magic wand tool